Take a look.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes. And it's Wednesday, so you already know what that means. It's time for your AEW Dynamite review. And not only is this your AEW Dynamite review, it's a historic night. In a way, man, it's a very historic night because on one hand, we have Will Ospreay's first official night as an AEW wrestler. We have the go-home show for AEW Revolution. But on top of that, most importantly, this is Sting's final episode of Dynamite. Now, Tony Khan has mentioned that Sting will pop up every now and again, show up whenever, you need him, whenever you just look up into the sky, whenever you hold a baseball bat, whenever you take a mask off and it's just revealing your face under the mask, you're going to think of Sting. But as far as his run in AEW, this will be Sting's final Dynamite. And man, what a run Sting has had, man, ever since he's come back, ever since he's pulled up in AEW, man. It's been a hellified run. I got to see him wrestle one time live. Well, not so much really wrestle. He just kind of showed up and just beat people's asses with his baseball bat. But it was still a cool moment nonetheless. And this Sunday at AEW Revolution will be his final match against the Young Bucks. So we'll get into a little bit more with Sting and the Young Bucks later in this video. But speaking of Revolution, man, this, like I said, this is the go-home episode of Dynamite. And real shit, man. On paper, this episode didn't really look like a go-home episode. It just looked like a random episode of Dynamite, but it was okay. It wasn't one of their best episodes, no. It did have a lot of great moments, especially the opening segment with Hangman Adam Page making his way to the ring. He's on crutches. Now, since last week, those rumors of Hangman being injured, he was showed holding his ankle. And the dirt sheets ran with this and said that his ankle may be broken. He may need an MRI. He may need an X-ray. Then stories came out from Sean Ross Sapp that, Hangman isn't really injured. He's working at Angle. And rumors were saying that he may or may not be able to wrestle at Revolution, depending on a personal situation he had going on at home. So it's like, well, what's going on with Hangman? We got to hear it from the man himself. And he comes out to the ring. He limps out on his crutches. So they're thinking, all right, so they are running with the injury angle, and maybe he might miss Revolution. So he's talking to the people. He's talking to the crowd in Alabama. He's saying that, AEW means so much to him. He's accomplished a lot. And he wanted to become a two-time champion, but that's not going to be the case. And he also mentioned that he really wanted this to be a one-on-one match, but he didn't realize that the one-on-one would be between Swerve and Samoa Joe. And of course, if you say a wrestler's name enough times, they show up. So whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve comes out. He makes his way to the ring. And he's saying, he's done some things in the past that he's not necessarily too proud of. He broke into Hangman's house. He cut a promo on his baby and put a t-shirt on his head. He tried to kill Hangman multiple times. But at no time did he never not respect Hangman. And it's looking like Swerve is turning face more and more. Like, he's already popping with the people. And this kind of felt like a face promo. And it kind of seemed like, from the outside looking in, it looked like two men in a weird way respecting each other. But before they can really get into this love fest, Samoa Joe comes out. He's like, listen, it doesn't matter if it's a one-on-one, it doesn't matter if it's a triple threat. At the end of the day, Samoa Joe is walking into Revolution as AEW champion, and he's walking out at AEW Revolution as AEW champion. And before Samoa Joe can leave, Swerve is like, listen, I will do whatever it takes. I busted in Hangman's house. I cut a promo on his baby. And the whole time, I watched enough wrestling to realize that something was about to happen because they kept the camera on Swerve. They didn't really show Hangman too much. They showed Hangman when he mentioned, Swerve breaking into his house, but they didn't really show him too much. So I kind of figured either nothing's going to happen or something happened. What ended up happening was Hangman attacked Swerve. And the part that made me laugh the most was Tony Schiavone. I think it was Tony Schiavone saying, he's not injured at all. Like, no shit, he's not injured. He was faking. So at the end of the day, it's still going to be a triple threat match. But like I said before, man, it looked like a low-key double turn. So in this situation, Swerve's the face, and Hangman has low-key completed his heel turn. He lied to Swerve. He lied to the people. His obsession with Swerve has just consumed him. So it's still going to be a triple threat match. Hangman pulled the old Mark Henry trick, The only thing he didn't do was come out wearing a pink blazer. But, he's a heel now. He's a bad guy. He's an evil, evil Hangman. That's not cowboy shit. That's lying shit, Hangman, you mustache merchant. Getting more into Revolution, we had a trios match between the FTR and Eddie Kingston taking on the Blackpool Combat Club. And, BCC, they're having a tag team match with FTR, and Eddie Kingston is wrestling Bryan Danielson. So, this was really a 6-man tag with them just beating the hell out of each other. A whole lot going on, a whole bunch of shenanigans, a whole bunch of chops, and, them doing that thing where they all get into a corner, they do the 10 count punches, and 1, 2, 3, that type shit. And it was a fun 6-man tag team match. The outcome was Bryan Danielson made Eddie Kingston pass out. He locked in a submission. Eddie Kingston passed out. And, he had the hold locked in. Bryan Danielson continuing his disrespect towards Eddie Kingston. He doesn't mess with this man at all. So, maybe Bryan Danielson wins. Maybe he doesn't. I'm going to do my predictions video tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, man, just more shenanigans leading into Revolutions. We have the official full-time appearance of Will by God Ospreay. He's introduced by Tony Schiavone. Will makes his way to the ring. The crowd is singing his theme song. He's out here looking like an extra from Squid Games. He's high-fiving people and kissing babies and people holding up signs that says bruv. So it's an absolute joy to see. You love to see it. And Will Ospreay said that, he completed his obligations to New Japan. So now he's all in. He's all elite. And he's doing his thing, man. And he's no stranger to AEW. He beat Orange Cassidy. He beat Chris Jericho. He beat Kenny Omega. All under the AEW banner. He also mentioned the Don Callis family. So, of course, the Don Callis family comes out, and I just start rolling my eyes because, oh, brother, I do not care for Don Callis. But this segment was okay because, Don Callis is taking all the credit for Will Ospreay. He's saying, you did all this with me by your side, Will. We did a great job together. And this Sunday at Revolution, they're going to give us a match of the year. Kenosuke Takeshita taking on Will by God Ospreay. That was actually a pretty good Don Callis, 10 points for Hufflepuff. That was a pretty good impression. But yeah, man, they end up, Takeshita and Will Ospreay ends up shaking hands. But Takeshita tries to big bro, Billy Goat a little bit. He holds on to the handshake a little too long. And, they set up a little friendly competition. And I called this a couple weeks ago. I feel like Will was going to win. And Takeshita's not going to take this very well. And, we may see Will break off with the Don Callis family, which makes sense because you got to have Will Ospreay as a heel, as a babyface, and have the Don Callis family as the heels. So after this, we had a random international championship match between Orange Cassidy and Nick Wayne, and I get the fact that Orange Cassidy is a fighting champion, and he just hands out championship matches like Nino Brown handing out turkeys at Thanksgiving. I get that, but Orange Cassidy has a championship match this Sunday. Shouldn't he be low-key focused on that? And this match was an example of that because even though the match was good, Nick Wayne was focusing on the back of Orange Cassidy. And what is Roderick Strong's specialty? Backbreakers. He's the damn messiah of the backbreaker, so that's not a good sign for old Orange Cassidy. Even though he has his hands in his pockets, he's doing the kicks and everything. His back is pretty much cooked like Seth Rollins, so that's not a good sign. So you had Best Friends come out. You had the Undisputed Kingdom come out. They're trying to run interference and distractions. But the distractions weren't enough to stop old Orange Cassidy. He got the one with the orange punch. And then they all fight after the match, and Roderick Strong beats Orange Cassidy's ass. So we have the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. And look, man, I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be a positive Pete and not so much of a negative Nancy, and not complain too much about this. But I gotta be real with you guys, man. I ain't feeling this shit not one bit. I like the Bullet Club Gold. They claim take it or leave it, you know what I mean? And this Saturday on Collision, Austin Gunn is going to be teaming up with they claim that they're going to have a trios match. Why? I don't know. They're all scissoring. I don't care, man. Get this over with, bro. I don't care for the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I know they want me to, but I really don't give one good gosh darn about the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't care. But one thing I do care about is Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale, and of course Stokely Hathaway and his bald head. And Chris Statlander ended up wrestling Sky Blue, and this was a fine match. Towards the end of the match, you had Stokely Hathaway trying to get Chris Statlander to cheat. Where he got this chain from, I don't know. He had it wrapped around his fist. He was trying to give it to Chris. Chris is like, bro, what are you doing? The referee's looking right at me. So the referee's trying to get the chain away from Stokely. Julia Hart ended up hitting Chris Statlander with the TBS Championship bat. Sky Blue hit the Code Blue on Chris and got the win. So I'm like, yo, that's what's up. But one thing that was kind of missing was time with Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo, because that is the only women's match on Revolution, so it would have been nice to see them interact in some way, shape, or form. You still keep this match on, but you still have to have the women's championship be showcased. Maybe they'll do something on Collision, I don't know, but it would have been nice to see them doing something on Dynamite, but you know, it is what it is. Speaking of it is what it is, you cowards, the main event match was between Chris Jericho and Atlantis Jr. Now, to AEW's credit, because you know that's been the big topic these past few weeks, few months, for however long people have been talking about this, AEW did give us a video package. They explain who Atlantis Jr. is. They explain why this match is taking place. They had a video package and they showcased the history. They did all the things you're supposed to do. With that being said, even though Chris Jericho cut a promos explaining what this match means to him, all that happened, all that took place, I didn't give a damn. I don't care. I don't care that Chris Jericho used to team with this man's father 35 years ago or whatever. I don't care that they're wrestling tonight. What impact is this going to have on the pay-per-view? Apparently, instead of the Meat Madness match, we're going to have an all-star 8-man match or whatever. And Chris Jericho is going to be a part of this for some reason. I don't know why. But I understand that AEW has this partnership with CMLL. I get it. But I don't care, man. If you wanted to have this match happen next week, fine. But as far as this match happening this week, I didn't give a damn. I didn't pay attention. Chris Jericho won. How did he win? I don't know. I was texting. I was, looking through Twitter. I was doing all sorts of other stuff. I wasn't paying attention to Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho got the win. He's going to wrestle on Revolution. Good for him. I had to get that off my chest. But we got to end this video on a positive note. So earlier in the night, you had Matthew and Nicholas Jackson at the EVP show up. They're here. They're looking for Sting. They're looking all over the arena. They have a camera crew following them because they were looking for Sting because this is his last Dynamite, and they were going to do a quote-unquote exit interview, which involves steel bats for some reason. So they're looking throughout the arena. They're asking Eddie Kingston. They're making fun of him. They're saying that he needs to, dress better, be presented better. They're poking him in the stomach with the baseball bats. They're saying stop wearing sweats and Timbs. I took resentment to that because I love sweats and I love Timbs, but it is what it is. They're looking in Sting's locker room. They looked inside. There's bats hanging up from the ceiling. And the whole time they're walking around the arena, I'm like, dude, you know where to look. It's Sting. Check the rafters. They never check the rafters. It's going to come back to bite them because they come out to the ring. They're calling out Sting. They see fans dressed up in the crowd with the Sting mask on. And I'm like, yo, one of those is Sting. It wasn't. It was actually Darby Allin. So they all start fighting. The Young Bucks and Darby Allin start fighting. And they're kicking Darby's ass. Poor Darby. And then Ric Flair comes out, and I'm like, oh, brother, what is he about to do? And it's looking like he's about to attack Darby, but it was a ruse. He ended up attacking the Young Bucks, throwing some of the most old man punches you ever seen in your entire life. He's trying, he's doing his thing. I think Matthew hit the low blow on Ric Flair, and they're attacking Ric Flair, and then Sting's music hits. So now they're coming up the ramp, they're looking for Sting, they're looking at Sting, they're looking, where is he? And Sting did the most WCW thing that you could possibly do, the most Sting thing you could possibly do. He descends from the rafters just like he did in WCW, and it was pretty badass. It was awesome. Tony Schiavone's crying, he's yelling, "It's Sting!" And I can't even lie to you, it was a pretty awesome visual. Sting, in true Sting fashion, beats up two men by himself with a baseball bat and the power of the Stingers. And you know, Darby Allin's doing his thing too. And that's how this episode of Dynamite closes. Sting's final Dynamite closes with him standing tall with his young ward Darby Allin. They're holding baseball bats. They got their face paint. The crowd is chanting Sting. They're chanting, "Thank you, Sting." I'm at home pumping my fist. And it was an awesome visual. So if that's how Sting's gonna go out, man, damn it, what a way to go. Sting's awesome. Probably one of the few people in wrestling that nobody has any bad things to say. Sting was just that dude, man. He's been holding it down for 30 years. And it's gonna be weird not seeing Sting on AEW television like that anymore, man. It's gonna be weird watching Sting's final match. That's crazy. But with that being said, guys, what did you think of this week's episode of Dynamite? What do you think of Sting? What are some of your favorite Sting moments? Let me know in the comment section below. Are you excited for Revolution? Let me know. You guys take care. Bees. I'm out. Peace.